This video, the fifth in the Getting Started series, will cover editing features in the timeline to modify your design. Topics covered include editing the timeline, pattern command, parametric updates, and show dimensions. As you look at the timeline for the spool, you will see all of the steps or features that were used to create the spool in the order that we created them. However, it has been determined that we should add some small ridges to the spool where the line is wound. That way, there is more texture for the line to grip onto. To do this, we need to go back in time and edit our sketch that we used to define the shape of our spool. First, confirm that the spool component is currently active. You can tell this by the radio button next to it in the browser. If it is not currently active, right-click on it in the browser and select Activate Component. To edit the first sketch in the timeline, either double-click it or right-click on it and select Edit Sketch. This action will display the original sketch used to create the spool's profile. Begin by drawing a small 1 mm diameter circle near the edge where the fishing line is spooled. Locate the circle 1 mm down from the corner and 0.4 mm from the vertical edge. Refer to Exhibit 1. To duplicate the circle along the vertical edge, the most straightforward method is to use a pattern. Navigate to the Create menu and choose Rectangular Pattern. Select the circle as your object, and begin dragging the up or down arrow to visualize a preview of the pattern. Input 8.7 mm for the extent distance and 6 for the quantity, then click OK. You will now see a pattern of 6 circles extending down along the spool's edge within the sketch. Refer to Exhibit 2. You will notice that even though we drew the circles along the edge, the grooves do not show up on our 3D model. This is because we now need to modify the Revolve feature to include the circular profiles. In the timeline, edit the Revolve feature. Examine the circles closely. You'll observe that the overlapping segment of the circle with the spool is blue, indicating that it's selected. The dialog box also shows that 7 profiles are currently selected. To deselect a segment, hold down the Control key on a PC or the Command key on a Mac and click on the small circular segment. Then release the Control key. You'll see the Revolve preview update to reflect the groove, and the number of selected profiles will decrease from 7 to 6. Refer to Exhibit 3. Continue this process. Hold down the Control key, select the next small circular segment, and repeat until all small circular segments are selected and all grooves are visible in the preview. Refer to Exhibit 4. Finally, press OK to complete editing the Revolve feature. Parametric modeling offers a significant advantage: automatic updates to your model when changes are made. For instance, since these grooves are dimensioned relative to the spool's edge, moving that edge will automatically reposition the grooves. Let's explore this functionality. Edit the first sketch in the timeline and change the 24 diameter dimension to 20. Refer to Exhibit 5. Then press Finish Sketch. Notice the spool diameter is thinner, yet the grooves are still on the edge. Now, that was kind of hard to see, so let me show you a neat tip. First, let's undo what we just did. Go to the Undo icon at the top and click on the down arrow next to it, and select back to the Undo Edit Sketch. This will undo all of the steps back to and including where we changed the dimension. Now, expand open the spool component in the browser and expand open the Sketches folder. Turn on Sketch 1 by clicking the eyeball icon next to it. You should now see the sketch lines and the circles. Right-click on Sketch 1 in the browser and select Show Dimension. Refer to Exhibit 6. This will turn on all of the dimensions in the sketch and allow you to edit the dimensions directly on the 3D model instead of having to edit the sketch from the timeline. Double-click on the 24 diameter dimension and change it to 20, and now you can see the 3D model update instantly. Change the 38.5 diameter dimension to 42, and notice how the spool updates accordingly. Click the Undo button twice to set the dimensions back to their original 38.5 and 24. Press the eyeball icon next to Sketch 1 to turn off the sketch. Click the Save icon at the top of the screen to save your changes. In the next video, we will create the bail component building on some of the techniques we have just learned.